NHL Nightly with your host, the sportsman, a.k.a. Pierre Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico and Barry.
Hey, everybody. Sorry about the delay. Pearlo and I were working out some technical abilities and talking over the show. We're going to talk a bunch of stuff, but there's 3 minutes left in this Dallas Stars game, so we will walk you through that if you're joining us while that game is live. We appreciate you being with us. It's 3-2 Dallas. Dallas, ironically, is about to take a 3-2 series lead if they hold on to this lead. Pearlo needs the over. I'm sure many of you are in that.
I need Dallas too.
Chandler Stevenson. Oh, what a stone. What a stone by Otter. Stone. Stevenson got in all alone. And he stones Chandler Stevenson. Ooh, a dirty hit there that they didn't call from behind there on Vegas there. Behind the play. But I anticipate Cassie going to pull the goalie right any moment here. With just about 2 minutes to go. Vegas in control of I would do it now if you have offensive zone control. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. So this is what happens with our 7:30 Eastern start time of a hockey game that we start at 10 p.m. Eastern. The game is still going if it's gone any length of time. They had a lot of reviews in this game. They're trying to get Aiden Hill out of the game. What do they have here? 145.
Oh, wow. I just saw that. I wasn't paying attention. I just saw that save. Holy crap.
Yeah, that happened.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just stone Stevenson. If Stevenson gets anything on that, he got in too tight. But if he gets that up, he probably beats him on that blocker side. If he just gets that up, all he has to do is elevate that puck 8 inches. Okay, 145. Looks like Hill's at the bench. I don't know if there's a timeout being called. Looks like Joel Ward, Dom Ducharme, Bruce Cassidy all around the players. Cassidy looks like he's drawn up the play for all of you joining us. Rico, thanks for being with us. By the way, this is NHL Nightly. I'm your host, Jeremiah Maxwell. With me, as always, is Steve Duncan, a.k.a. Pearlo Wisdom, and Rico and Barry, our French correspondent, beer league correspondent, goal shots prop correspondent, Maple Leafs fan, also Red Wings. We give him a little bit of a Red Wings fan, Yeah,
I've been diehard from way back, but we should have a special guest on. See if you can get that glass banger on this show. That guy would be.
That guy follows me, actually. I could probably ask him to get him on. I don't know, though, man. Do I want to have that guy on the show? Because, he's having this war with Biz, and I'd rather just talk hockey and not some faux war, that's, means nothing. But I will tell you, would you be bothered by a guy like that if you were sitting by a guy like that?
It would probably get annoying if he did it all game, but if he did it maybe once a period, it would be.
It looks like funny. He does it quite a bit of the game.
I don't understand how he's able to. If everybody along the glass did that at the same time, there's no way the NHL would let that happen. So I don't know how one guy can get away with it. I
think he doesn't really hammer the glass too hard.
That's got sanctions on the glass in Dallas. That's not seamless glass, so you could kind of see it going back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know. So we are at 123. I know Pearlo's a little bit ahead of us. Almost got the empty netter. Marchessault just scooped it right out before the empty net. They didn't put enough in it. That's would have iced the game for Dallas. If you're joining us and you're not watching this game, what are you doing? Even if you don't have the ability. Yep, Rick, we're tracking. I'm trying to do it. Hey, happy Wednesday. This will probably be the last show of the week, guys. We'll talk about it, but I don't think there'll be a show tomorrow. I apologize. I have a funeral to go to. That's just life happens. So, and there's only one game on tomorrow, and I know Rico's going to be watching that game live. So he'll probably be in with my main man, Hot Take Hockey. I bet you Hot Take is going to be streaming that game. All the way down, and just wide, but Dallas is right there. Oh my God, just dump it in. Pearlo's got to be losing his mind here. Pavelski, just shoot the puck. What are you doing? What are you doing? What
At least I had Dallas money line, but yeah.
Hey man, if you took the over in this game, you'd be sweating it, man. This game was flying over the total to start, and all of a sudden it just died right out as far as goal production went.
Right here.
Oh man, Pearl.
I had the over in this game, yeah.
Oh, it was looking dynamite after the first period. You almost hit it.
2-2. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wow, they really locked it down. They really locked it down.
Well, the good news is I had more on the money line for Dallas than I did on the over, so I'm still up. But
how about the Dallas Stars lose the first 2 games of this series? We're all like writing them off. They come back and win 3 straight, 2 in Vegas, reclaim their home ice, and have made this a series. And that is it. It is over. 3-2 Dallas wins. Final. I will update it. They are 3-2 up in the series. And Rock came up to say hi to everybody. There's Rock. He's wanting to paw me in the face because he hates me. What's going on there, Rock? Get out of here, Rock. But good for Dallas. They win. A lot of us had Dallas to go far in our brackets. Not that I didn't believe in Vegas, but they just didn't play great down the stretch, even with all the additions. But
it kind of felt to me like Vegas was playing more for next year than this year. Like you bring in a whole bunch of different, they have a whole different bunch of different players like Hurdle and all that kind of stuff like that. And I kind of got the feeling that they knew that they were probably not going to do it this year. That's the reason why I took Dallas. But next year they're going to be a beast. Yeah, they're going to be a great team.
Yeah, Dallas is only getting better. I'm losing my feed. I'm going to probably lose this Edmonton game. I don't know what's happening here.
Dude, Dallas is drafted so well that they're so well insulated, that team. I mean, once Jamie Benn and Sagan, Pavelski, those guys will fade off, and then you'll get Wyatt Johnson and Stankoven, and I mean, geez.
Well, and it's Sagan and Ben that's really gonna affect. Getting their contracts off the books are really gonna help them keep the Wyatt Johnsons and Robertsons and I think. Oh, go ahead, Perlo.
It's a well-run organization there in Dallas for sure. I mean, their drafting is insane. And
I don't think there's a better team.
Yeah, it's like they've been middle to bottom of the first round, and you get guys like Stankoven, Johnston. Man, they're just they're rocking. They are a rocking organization. If they don't win it this year, they're going to be winning soon for sure. I would say.
Like most of their guys on their team, most of them are all homegrown guys. Okay, I mean Pavelski, but he's still been there for a few years. I mean, Matt Duchene, because you got him off a buyout.
Well, and Sagan's not
a lot of their core players have been drafted as well.
Sagan's not homegrown, but he's been there a long time.
Oh yeah, I mean he got traded after his first year.
No, I thought he played a couple of years with that.
I think it was 2.
He was with Boston. Yeah. He got to his RFA deal. I thought he was 3 years in Boston, but he won a cup with the Bruins. He was on that 11 team. Made an impact. He was an impactful player in that Stanley Cup run for the Bruins in 2011. So, we think of him as a young guy now, man. That was 13 years ago. The guy's a seasoned vet now. They were saying tonight though he has no points or anything. So.
No, he played good though. I mean, that's the famous bar tab from the Boston Bruins Stanley Cup party. You remember that bar tab came out and it was just like ridiculous amount of booze and money that was on it. And Sagan and Marchand. Next thing you know, like I think a few days later or something, Sagan was traded, or that it was the same offseason. It was after they won the cup that they traded Sagan.
Yeah, I know it was after the cup, but I thought they were closer to his RFA deal, you know, him being an RFA, because he was going to get paid a lot of money and they didn't have the cap room for him, so they had to move him.
Worst deal ever. Wasn't that Louis Eriksson going over from Dallas in that trade as well?
I think that was part of the trade. Yep, I think if you're correct. We'll have to look it up here. Well, so before you came off, go ahead,
You're right. It was 3 years.
Yeah, I knew it was 3 years, guys. They didn't trade him. Like they waited till they got what they saw what they had, and they realized that they were going to be better off trading him. And you know, I think there was some off ice stuff with him a little bit too, but it is what it is.
I never realized how tall Adrian Kempe is.
Yeah. Do the Kings stay alive tonight? Edmonton for the win tonight, Rick Smith asks.
Boys, I got Edmonton in regulation, Edmonton puck line. I got Edmonton to score the first goal. Adam Henrique goal prop, Kempe goal prop, Byfield assists, Doughty assists. I also got a Dylan Holloway long shot goal prop for the Oilers. So let's see how that goes. That's why I was late. Sorry, I was getting in some bets at the last minute.
Which you can do on your phone, right?
Yeah.
You can do those live on the show. I don't care. If you want to put them in and you just want to talk through what you're doing, that's totally fine. So tomorrow, probably no show, guys. I don't want to put it on Pearlo and Rico. The start time is 8 p.m. There's one game. Wow, late start time in Toronto, huh? 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, that's the only game. And then the next night, I think there's like 3 or 4, is there not?
Friday night, we have 3 games. We'll preview all 3 games. But before we get into the game, so tomorrow is Bruins Maple Leafs, 8 p.m. And then Friday, we have Stars Golden Knights. Okay, so we don't have a time yet for that. Canucks Preds, and then potentially Oilers Kings. So, because Oilers could end it tonight. But if they don't end it tonight, there will be a game. There will be a game 6 on Friday night. And then Saturday would be game 7 Leafs Bruins if we don't if the Leafs extend it and win at home, which I think they will. I think we're going to see a game 7. I'm going to drop Pearlo out. But before you came on, Rico, he's back. Pearlo's back. Pearlo, you coming at a different location? Oh, you couldn't get your girl. Couldn't make it over to girlfriend's house.
I don't know why the background's not there. I don't know.
Well, the girlfriend's house not working out. Girlfriend got you booted. It's all right. It looks good, man. You're fine.
Okay.
Okay, so Oilers win tonight, huh? Wow, look at this fan with all the digital stuff on. All right. Oilers Kings about to drop. Okay, Pearlo and I were talking about this before the show, and we want to get your thoughts in the chat and everybody. It looks like Rob Brind'Amour was about to sign an extension with the Carolina Hurricanes. I saw a little clip of Kevin Weeks going on overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and O-Dog, former Hurricane, and Jeff O'Neill. And they talked about it. And it looks like they had this deal done, and then the owner put the kibosh on it. I don't know. And then Pearlo mentioned, it has to do with his assistants and how he wants to keep them and get them paid well, which I so appreciate that from him. I think that's a class act from Rod. What are you guys thinking? Is this a huge mistake? They let Brind'Amour walk?
I don't think they let him walk. I think they're going to get a deal done, but the problem is he hasn't been paid. I think he's like one of the like bottom half, definitely bottom half paid coaches in the league. And I think that new contract isn't even going to make him in the top echelon of paid coaches in the league. So I don't know if he really cares too much about that, but that's all what I heard today. I listened to ODog on Overdrive as well today too. He said it'd be absolutely a huge mistake, which is obvious, letting Brindamore go. I mean, look at the guy's record behind that bench. So it's just a weird time for this news to kind of come out after Carolina just basically finished their first round series against the Islanders, and all of a sudden this news comes out now. So I mean, I don't know if the owners in Carolina are just tight pocketed there or what. I guess that's maybe a rumor as well too, but just weird timing. But I expect the deal to be done with Brindamore, and yeah, like you said, maybe it might be with his staff as well too, and make sure the assistants are taken care of, which is a solid move by him.
Pearlo, go ahead and discuss. You said a lot of great things before the show started. So
it's just ridiculous that you would let Brindamore go. Yeah, he is one of the lower paid guys, and he's one of the best coaches in the league. Maybe even the best coach in the league. Maybe it might have something to do with, and I just thought about this after we talked before the show. It might have something to do with motivation for the players. Like if they win a cup, can you not sign Brindamore? Like really? If they win a cup this year? So maybe it has something to do with that. I know they love Brindamore in Carolina, and I mean if he were to be on the market, there would be a lineup. Although there is one other thing, and this is what we were talking about before the show. It's possible that Francis and him are they know each other very, very well in Seattle there. It's possible that Francis opens up the freaking wallet, not him, but the owner of Seattle, and says, put your number out there, we'll bring you over here. And it might be a dollar value that he just can't.
I heard $6 million a year is not that much money, to be quite frank, for a coach.
No,
I don't
not really. No.
I know Babcock got 7 in Toronto, which was a colossal waste. Hey, hold on a sec, Pearl. I'm getting a hissing sound from.
Oh,
Yep, it is from your microphone. Check it out. Maybe unplug, clean it real quick. Getting that it sounds like a car tire air being let out is all. So just maybe unplug, check it or something. You might have a cable not plugged in all the way or something. I just muted you real quick and give me the thumbs up that you got it. Let's see. It's still a little bit there, a little bit of staticky, but we'll make do with it. It's better than it was. Maybe just mute yourself when you're not talking. I do think Seattle could be in on. And by the way, the puck is dropped and we're underway in Edmonton. Half minute in, so
I mean, Brindamore's from the Ottawa area as well too, so you could throw the Ottawa Senators in that mix. He's got ties to BC with his extended family as well too, so maybe.
Well, but
I
mean, yeah. The Vancouver Canucks are not hiring a coach, but Seattle is a stone's throw from British Columbia, so
that's what I mean.
Yeah, so I could see him being there. I don't think that would be the end of it. But I do believe he's been with Carolina. He won the cup with them. He played, 10 years as a player there. So
went to the final in 2002, won it in 2006. He's been to, he's dragged his team pretty much to the conference finals to 2 of the last 4 or 5 years, I think.
And I'll tell you right now, guys, I think they beat the Rangers. I think the Rangers had really no competition in the first round from the Caps, who were beat up. I mean, TJ Oshie was playing with a broken hand, broken back. I don't think Ovechkin was 100%, wasn't brought up. Ovi's not the type of guy to come out and say anything anyway. I think the Rangers are going to struggle with this team. The only advantage I see the Rangers have is Shesterkin. And if Shesterkin comes out and plays like we know he can, that could be the equalizer. But the thing, and the look too, like if Shesterkin got hurt, Jonathan Quick more than capable. But like that's where I also think Carolina has a strength. They got like 2 or 3 guys that they can rely on. I definitely feel like Kochetkov is more than capable. Freddie Anderson's rested. He didn't have to play most of the season. So, I think in the past, Anderson's criticism, you'd be talking he would maybe wear down in the playoffs. I don't think that. I mean, he's been very good. I thought he outplayed. And also too, like I'll say this, like the Islanders, I thought gave Carolina that series could have gone 6 or 7. I thought the Islanders gave them like more than they could handle, but I just thought that the Canes' depth is really what put it through for them. And I just wonder if the Rangers are able to combat that, but we'll see.
Well, you make a good point about Anderson not playing a lot this year. Like, look at Bobrovsky last year. He was fresh going into the playoffs as well too, and you could say the same thing for Adin Hill. They had a little bit of a mixed bag for goalies for Vegas last year as well too, and that goes back to a lot of people saying Hellebuck was overworked and stuff this year, and by the time the playoffs came, he's got an 870 goals, 870 save percentage for Winnipeg, averaging over 5 goals a game in that series. So I mean, there is that side of the coin that Freddie Anderson is fresh. He's got playoff experience, a lot of bad ones with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but he's still got playoff experience, and he's a pretty good goaltender. So
yeah. Oh, we lost Pearlo there. I don't know. Maybe he's rebooting because that's so weird. We're getting that staticky noise from him. I don't know what's going on there. Something might be interfering with his microphone there. I truly believe that we're gonna see. So Josh comes in and says Rod isn't going anywhere. Yeah, I mean, why did Dundon put the kibosh on the extension then, Josh? I would not be happy if I was a. And look, I also understand maybe they go a different direction because, look, I feel like this is Carolina's last window with this core, too. They're going to lose Pesci, more than likely. They're going to lose Shea. They won't have D'Angelo on that team next year. Not that he'll be a big loss for them. They'll be able to keep Kuznetsov for another year because Caps retain salary on him, and so that won't be bad. And they'll have to – but I think that Canes team is going to look a lot different next year. So I feel like they really need to kind of hit on this window. This is kind of they're always in the mix. We're always saying it, but there's an injury to
Mikey Anderson.
Mikey Anderson, that's a big deal. What happened?
Not sure. It's not showing me.
Why is McDavid shaking his head like this is bullshit? The guy's hurt. What the fuck, McDavid? Relax, dude. Like, let him figure it out. I don't see a delayed penalty or anything. Oh, he ran into him. But it was a complete accident. It didn't look like, fuck, McDavid's lucky he's not. Yeah, still getting that static, Pearlo. Just mute yourself until you're ready to talk. Mikey Anderson's getting up on his own, so hopefully he's all right.
He's got the wind knocked out of him or something too. You never know, right? You're just trying to breathe as you try to get up.
They didn't see each other. It was it wasn't a dirty play or anything. So, okay, I hear you. I hear you, J-Dub. I mean, there are reputable sources saying that the owner put the kibosh on it. I get the GM stuff. Look, they're not going to tell that fan base right now, too. Why would they stop an extension talk? If they're going to keep the guy, just do the extension. Are they waiting to see what he does? I wonder if they're waiting to see what he does. We'll see. We'll see.
Stuff leaks out so easily now with social media and Twitter, and just one little guy sniffs something, one guy says something, next thing you know, it goes out to the media and everybody runs with it. And
look,
there's probably these kind of talks that go on all the damn time that we don't hear about, and this one just happened to surface. So,
look, and I I'm rooting for the Canes fans. I know Rod wants to be there. I think that's where his desire to stay would be. I'm just saying, if they don't make it to the conference finals, they don't make it to Stanley Cup this year, I could see them moving in a different direction. They're going to have a different looking roster. Okay, so let's just bring up Cap Friendly real quick and we could look at it. I just really am interested in this whole thing because, look, Frank Cervelli and Elliot Friedman are not just saying stuff to say stuff. Those guys aren't sensationalist journalists. They get so much information. They're legit saying, this is interesting. So Carolina spends to the cap. They're not a cheap team. They don't overpay their players, but okay, so oh my God. Dude, Cap Friendly, just do us a favor. Have all the ads on the screen you want. The pop-up blocker ad, bullshit. Get rid of it. Seriously, bros. You got to make money, I get it, but Sports Interaction sponsors you. Casino, I'm sure you're fine. Yeah, Jeff Merrick as well. I mean, everybody. I don't see. Okay, so here's who they have that could be gone. Teravainen, Gensel. Netchus is an RFA, so they could lose him, but they will obviously he's got arb rights, so he could get paid. So they may not keep him. Martinuk, who's an assistant captain, he could be gone. Hell, he was on waivers earlier this year because they had they were so close to the cap. Jack Drury's an RFA with arb rights. I think he'll be gone. Seth Jarvis is an RFA. They're not getting rid of him. They're going to pay him. Ryan Suzuki's an RFA. Don't know about Suzuki. Maxime Comtois he didn't really play for them. And then on the back end, they have Brady Shea, Brett Pesce, Tony DeAngelo, and Jalen Chatfield all up. So next year, they have a projected cap space of $27 million. So they should be able to get a lot of those guys under the deal. I saw in one of the chats this guy, D. Ely, who's a deputy sheriff, former military guy, that's a big-time Caniacs fan, and he knows some of these guys. And he has said that Chatfield has said that deal is going to get done. So,
well, that's what happens in the cap world, right? If Carolina all of a sudden goes to the final, like I said they were going to, and they win the Stanley Cup like I predicted them, and then they all start holding the cup after, and they pass it to each other, and then the announcers start talking. Well, you got Chatfield, and he's a free agent this year, and he might be coming, and then they start going down the line of all these guys you're talking about, the UFAs, and how they're going to get big time raises because they just won the cup. So, I mean, if Carolina goes out against the Rangers, these guys might not get a hefty payday. They probably still will, but not as much as if they lift that cup, because then it becomes their Stanley Cup winners, and now they're all UFAs, and now you got a real problem, but a good problem because you just won a cup together, and half these. Oh
yeah, Stefan Nason is also a free agent, and he's played well. But he's a 31-year-old journeyman, so he's not going to get he's not going to get much money.
He still scores big goals though.
No, I'm saying I could see a team give him $1.5 million a year or something.
He's a pure goal scorer, this guy. He'll get he'll get that.
He's only 31, so it's not like his career is over or anything. So yeah. And of course they're going to keep Kuznetsov. That's nothing.
Aho should go. Andrew Aho should go.
Andrew Aho's gets a new extension that kicks in next year at $975. So he's not going anywhere. He's signed till 2031. That's why I'm surprised they don't want to sign Rod and his assistants. Just I don't know, man. We'll see. But Pearlo has been saying this forever, and I want to hear from Pearlo because we've had him muted for a while. He doesn't think that Carolina's man-to-man will work long-term in the playoffs. So, Pearlo, what do you think here? Are they going to do anything, and then do they lose Rod? Because if they don't.
Well, I mean, if anybody can get that man-on-man to work, it's Rod. I mean, he's going to he builds machines for teams. Like he is a machine. That's why he's called Rod the Bod, and he has a really good way of getting everybody buying into being the most physical shape you can possibly get. So he could do it, and I think that's his goal and dream and what he wants to do, to build a machine team that can play man-on-man and just beat the crap out of everybody. Like, he doesn't want to just win. He wants to win in a way that you will know that this is one of the greatest beast teams of all time. That's what I think he wants to do. And I think now I'm starting to get a little worried that, like I said, I think that him and Ron Francis probably talk to each other. And I know you're not supposed to say that because you're not supposed to do that, but come on, man. They're friends. They've been friends for a long time. They've known each other for a long time. And I think Francis has called up his agent and said, we'll open up the books and we'll play man-on-man and we'll do exactly what he wants him to do. And I think maybe in Carolina, they're like, well, Dundon has his way of doing things. He doesn't want to pay too much for anything. Waddell, from what I understand, Waddell, the general manager, makes $500,000 a year. $500,000 a year is all he makes as a general manager of an NHL team.
I mean, I'd be a general manager for $500,000.
Sure, but I mean, general managers make a lot more than that in the NHL, right? So he has his structure, and it doesn't seem like he's going to vacate it. He'll probably think that he can get a coach at least similar to what Brindamore is, or find somebody, or whatever the case may be. And I think Brindy might have got some numbers that said, for my family, I can't turn this down. That's what it feels like to me. Because they had a deal already, and then, he gets a deal that goes like, we'll pay you $8 million a year, and Dundon's offering like $3 million a year. That's $5 million a year. Like, how do you turn down $5 million a year to stay as a coach of the Carolina Hurricanes? That's just so. I honestly think we'll see.
I think he won't turn that down, Pearlo. I don't think he'll turn that down. I think he honestly, Rod's the type of guy that would take less money to make sure his assistants get paid. It's just like our friend Josh says in the chat. Look, a lot of this stuff is if they win the cup, Rod's probably staying. If they lose to the Rangers here though, and don't make the conference finals and put up a really good fight against, I'm guessing Florida, because we'll see. Who's getting $11 million through 26-27, Rico?
Drew Doughty.
Yeah, Drew Doughty, yeah. Does he make 11? I thought he made 9. I thought he was like 9 something.
I think that's his cap hit is 11. He was straight 11, I think, across the board.
I think they must have backloaded his deal though, because I thought he only. Well, he must have made a bunch of money up front then, or got like big time bonuses, because his salary is. Oh no, it says 11. You're right on. Okay, I thought he made 9. So yeah, wow. When he signed that deal, like they were expecting the cap to go up too. So like that's a rough one.
2019, 2020, right to 26, 27.
The thing about defensemen though are if you stay good as a good skater, and Doughty's not a terrible skater, like you could still play at a pretty high level, but he's going to be 37 by the time the end of that. But he's still logging over like 23, 24 minutes a night. So, playing against a
good
team,
player.
Not a terrible
brings it
turnover.
to playoffs too.
The Kings just turned it over right in front. I can't believe Edmonton didn't make them pay.
Yeah. This is a tighter game than I thought it would be.
Well, LA's back up against the wall. Now is Big Save Dave back in? That was shot wide. Again, 13 don't know who. Yeah, they still have Big Save Dave in there, so good call there. I mean,
LA
this would be
knows.
LA has 5 shots to Edmonton's 1. That was Jan Mark that shot that wide, by the way.
LA's doing what Winnipeg should have did against Colorado. Just play these guys man to man the best you can and just try to get into a low scoring game. Winnipeg, by just not listening to Bonus, getting out of their structure and trying to run and gun with the Avalanche wasn't going to work for them, and it didn't. And
the thing
LA's
is,
realizing it now.
Rico, I so agree with you. The thing is, too, didn't you think that the Jets had the secondary scoring just hang with the Avs?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. And they had the better goaltender, so you figure if you get into a little bit of a run and gun with them, I mean, I mean, totally. So, but the thing is, the Jets just had a defensive system under Bonus, so I think there was a lot of conflict between the players and the coach. The players didn't want to play the system that Bonus wanted to, and it just started getting confused on which players wanted to play it and which players didn't. And I think there was just a lot of stuff going on there, and they just weren't all on the same page, if you're asking me.
Yeah.
I personally think that the Jets players didn't want to play what Bonus was telling them to play. I think Bonus is
Maybe
a great
some
coach.
of them did.
I think Bonus is a great coach. And also their bottom 3 defense is not very good, so that makes it difficult. But Bonus wanted them to slow down the game, ice the puck, anytime the pace gets going, ice the puck, keep it slow. So I call that the Tortorella special. You just keep the game as slow as possible and grind it out against a team like that. You don't want to be going back and forth with Colorado. Why in the world would you want to do that? You don't have guys that are able to do that. And also, I'll make another prediction. I think Scheifele's gone in the summer.
After that extension?
Yep. I think he's gone.
Along with Crosby, eh?
I
mean,
well, Crosby
and
will
Connor
eventually.
were the only 2 guys that showed up in that series.
Oh, Hot Take Hockey's in the chat. By the way, Hot Take, I asked you, are you streaming tomorrow? We'll definitely, because we're not going to be streaming tomorrow at all. But if you are, I know Rico and I will be in your chat. So let us know in the chat if you're going to be streaming. I'll make sure I tell all my fans who are your fans anyway. But go ahead.
If Hot Take is streaming tomorrow, he just gets me going so much, man. Watching Elise, I just got to time perfectly. I'm gonna have to be in a rubber room tomorrow watching this game if I'm watching Hot Take hockey stream, man, because it's so nerve wracking. Like we just dissect every play. We just we squeeze the sticks for the players.
Rico.
It feels like it's unbelievable.
Thanks, man. I am likely streaming, and he was agreeing with you, Pearlo, about slowing the game down. And I think Rico kind of made that point before Pearlo echoed that sentiment.
Yeah. And I just don't think that Winnipeg wants to do that. And I think the biggest person on that team that doesn't want to do that is Scheifele. It's not his game at all. He doesn't want to play that type of game. So if they're going to get a different coach, they might have to go a different direction. Maybe Scheifele stays.
They're not going to get a different coach. Why would they get a different coach?
Oh, no.
That's idiotic.
I don't think Bonus is back next year.
Really?
I don't think Bonus is back.
Because of like health problems with his wife and this, that, and stuff?
Well, there's all that kind of stuff too, yeah. But I think that they may go internally on it, but so yeah, and his wife and all that kind of stuff like that. I think he's just getting tired. And
Andrew agrees with you, Pearlo.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be back next year.
Man, he's another one of those guys.
I don't think he'll be fired so much as just kind of like
Edmonton just scored.
Kane Potsman. Woo.
Nice. Yeah, Edmonton just scored. Sloppy goal. So that series is underway, and this could be the end. Probably the end for the Kings tonight if Edmonton's kicking off the scoring here. So, and I will update the scoreboard for y'all in the chat. We know it's busy because we have everything in there, but yeah. So, Yeah, interesting points, Perlo. I didn't think anything about Scheifele.
Well, Scheifele came out and actually said that they weren't adjusting to Colorado's play, and that's kind of like pointing a finger at the coach there. And he's done that so many times. He did that with the previous coach.
Ooh, listen to a hot take. Sorry, Perlo, didn't mean to cut you off, but our main man, Hot Take Hockey, put something exclusive for our chat. Thank you, HTH. He says, I think Kyle Connor gets traded this offseason, and I think it could be Detroit. That's a great one. Who would be in that deal, HTH? Who do you think coming back there? Is it just picks? Are we trading draft picks, or are we I'm gonna put that back up for Rico when he comes back, but who comes back in that deal?
I wish John was on because I'd like to hear his reasoning for that, because that is
I'll shoot him the DM if he wants to come on. He can defend himself. Not defend himself, but like just explain his pick. I'll DM him the link if he wants to come on, and then he can quickly say.
I'm not challenging him on that. He's pretty cool.
No,
he's pretty cool at being able to look at the league and see what's going to happen. So that's like I didn't have that on the radar. Yeah.
He listens to as much hockey stuff as us, and he's got his sources, as they might say. By the way, Pat McAfee again has Matthew Tkachuk on today for a 25-minute interview. Check it out. You can just watch the interview. Pat is huge here in America, and he loves hockey. He's a diehard Pittsburgh Penguins fan, and I hope the Penguins make the playoffs next year. I hope Dubas figures it out there. Maybe he gets a lot back for the Crosby trade, Perlo. I would love to see it. I hate to say this, and I shot Hot Take the link, but we'll see. I want to hear what he says. Or even in the chat, he don't have to come on. No obligation whatsoever, Hot Take, to come on. But I want to hear. I would love to see Sidney Crosby get traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Mitch Marner and some other pieces. I like the kid that Hot Take doesn't want to trade that plays for London, and I always forget his name, and I believe his name is him and I had a big chat about it the other day. I can't think of his name now. I'll have to look at the Leafs thing. I mean, Edmonton's a legit. Oh, starting July 1, Kyle Connor submits a no team trade list. Okay. So, and Andrew thinks Ehlers is a guy that could be.
I could see that. Yeah. It's tough in Winnipeg though, because you got to make sure people that are coming to your team want to be there, and it's tough in Winnipeg to make trades and stuff like that. I don't know if Connor doesn't want to be there or not, or maybe he's got some insight on that where he's just kind of, all right, I'll move on to a different. I mean, if I was making millions of dollars, I wouldn't want to live in Winnipeg.
So the guy I was talking about that the Leafs have that I think a lot of teams are going to be interested in, that they could garner some interest, is that Easton Cowan kid.
Oh, Cowan,
yeah. So,
fire GM if I have to. I don't think.
No, Shovel Dayoff has done a really good job, Andrew. I don't know why you would. Yeah, that Dubois trade is by him another decade in my mind.
Yeah, he's done fantastic with that team.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't. Under the circumstances he's in there in Winnipeg, like he's done really, really well. I no way you fire Shovel Dayoff.
Okay, Rico's back. Rico, this is a exclusive from Hot Take you missed. while you got away. He says, my hot take is an exclusive for the Sports Beer Chat. I think Kyle Connor gets traded this offseason. I think it could be Detroit. And then he says, starting July 1st, Connor submits a 10-team no-trade list. So,
yeah, I mean, let Patrick Kane go on his merry way, take a Kyle Connor, put him with DeBrincat and Larkin. You got an NHL top 5, top 10 at least, number one line. I absolutely get these guys used to each other. They'll probably play together on Team USA.
Edmonton has won 20 straight games when scoring first. So they probably just jinxed that by putting that up in this thing. Yeah, Rick says Easton Cowan had a 42-game point streak to finish the season. So here's what Hot Take says. He says Connors or Ehlers, I think, could be gone this offseason, one of them. Dude, but I want to know who you think they get back for Kyle Connor from Detroit. I would be really interested because I feel like Detroit has a lot of the same kind of roster makeup right now. A bunch of kind of, I don't know, somewhat superstars. Like Larkin, I don't see them trading. Obviously, it probably has
Justin Hall.
Justin Hall has 2 years left on his deal at 3-4. Right,
no, he's locked up. Why wouldn't he take it?
32, man. Gonna walk away from the game having made some pretty good money, and been just because he was a right shot defenseman. So parents, you're out there grueling. Teach your kid to be a right shot defenseman. It's like a lefty reliever in baseball. There's a
just buy him a right-handed stick since he's a toddler. Don't even buy him a left-handed one. Just buy him a right-handed one. And if he says this feels kind of weird, say don't worry about it. Usually it feels weird at the beginning. Just keep her going.
Yeah. Gonna be interesting. I think Detroit, they got Lyon for another season after this. They got Husso. They'll probably let Weimer rock. I mean, can Husso be as bad as he was? Can he be? Hot take, you don't also have to give us all your content. You probably are going to make a video about this. Just know that of the tens and tens of people that see my stuff, hundreds and thousands of people see yours. So if you put it out on here, chances are most people aren't going to see it anyway. But I appreciate it. I should look and see. Look, it shows NHL Nightly. We got a few people in here. We got a few people from the Twitterverse. Twitter folks that you watch it on Twitter Live, appreciate you. You can write in the chat, and I will see it. We actually can see it. StreamYard lets us see that. I'm working on some changes. We're gonna get some new overlays. Gonna change the intro a little bit. Got to get some legends of the thing. Rico, what? Rico, Andrew wants me to know what comment. Andrew, I'm not a mind reader. What comment are you saying? Which comment? You have 70 comments. And Rico can read the chat too.
When you got a time there, I put a trade together for Detroit for Connor, if you want to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear it. Here's what Hot Take says. And I appreciate you coming on, doing this Hot Take. This is very awesome of you. I don't know, off the top of my head, maybe a first, second, Berggren, Wallander, Soderblom. Okay. The Oshawa Generals are kicking ass up 3-0 in the series over the London Knights. Oh, all right, Rick. I thought London was pretty good this year, but Oshawa killing it, huh? Okay, Oshawa is right there and kind of close to the GTA as well, isn't it, Rico?
Yeah, Oshawa is almost like a suburb now. It's like 20 minutes outside of town.
Okay. Probably a roster player from Detroit, too. Yeah, I give that. Your Shovel Day Off comment, you said to fire Shovel Day Off? Yeah, I think.
Fire Shovel Day Off?
Yeah, I think everybody thinks you're off your rocker on that one, Andrew. Like I said, the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade bought him 10 years. Like, that guy is not going anywhere. He's a very good general manager. I really feel bummed out. I saw Jesse Pollock, noted Jets fan, TSN bar down guy, just devastated the Jets. Because, man, I mean, like, everybody at Daily Faceoff except for Colby Cohen had the Jets. I had the Jets. Were you guys on the Jets? The 17-4, 3-0.
I was not on the
sorry,
Jets.
just backing up that last comment from Rick. I thought he was a little off there. Oshawa is beating the North Bay Battalion 3-0 in the series. The London Knights are up on the Saginaw Spirit 2-1 in the series. So Oshawa's not playing.
Rick lives in Oshawa. Rick, you don't even know who they're playing.
Yeah, they're playing North Bay Battalion. North Bay just killed
beating the London Knights. Anytime you guys want to give OHL updates and talk Western Hockey League or Quebec Major Juniors or USHL, I want to talk that. We're definitely going to get into some more college stuff. I want to do a college corner. That might be an episode on its own, and maybe I get Mike, our degenerate Boston fan, to just come on those shows because he's really follows that close, and we just go over it. So we might have a little college segment because when I apply for my media credentials again, I'd sure love to get into the game for free, but they ain't that expensive and it's a good time. So Frozen 4 will always be in my thing.
Oshawa, we will meet London in the final, though.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew, thank you. And we were just giving you a hard time, but I think the general consensus in the hockey world is that Cheveldayoff has done a very, very good job. And I could not see him leave. Now, Pearlo did say he thinks Bonus will be gone, and he liked to Scheifele trade. Go ahead.
And Andrew might have a point there. I mean, Cheveldayoff went in on Monahan and Toffoli, and those guys haven't done a whole lot in the playoffs either. So he's definitely going to get asked about those players, about their futures in Winnipeg. I think both of them aren't going to stay, but I think maybe one of them. And if I had to pick, it would probably be Monahan, and I think Toffoli will probably test the market. So
Sean Monahan needs to do a stint in the States, man. Maybe a Dallas Stars. They lose Pavelski or something. I don't know. He's not done. I don't think. Maybe he sits out the first quarter of the season too, because I feel like he slowed down. Maybe he was so good early in the year. Maybe he plays like half a year. Like Parise looks like an animal in the playoffs because he didn't play much this year, and it's like I think it helped him because he's 40. So I wouldn't mind seeing Colorado win for Parise.
Dude, wasn't he the 03 draft, like with Corey Perry and stuff too? Like who everybody was thinking is going to be the last man standing. Was he in that draft as well?
I don't know.
Remember everybody was thinking who's going to be the last player from the 03 draft that's going to be the last man stand.
Right now it's he was the 03 draft. Yeah, but Pavelski was 03 draft too. So
Zach Parise, Ryan Suter, Jeff Carter, Brett Burns, Dion Phaneuf. I mean,
Burns still playing. So Burns could win.
It could be Burns or Corey Perry, I think.
Marc-Andre Fleury. By the way, that original pick was the Florida Panthers. And they traded back to draft Nathan Horton.
Brent Burns has a type of game that can play for another 5 years, though. Am I offside there? Doesn't Brent Burns just seem like somebody that ages so well?
Yeah, I think Burns has got 2 years left on. He's got this year and next year. I could see Burns playing longer than that too, especially if he hasn't won. So Marc-Andre Fleury goes first of all. Eric Stahl goes second overall. Nathan Horton goes third. He had back problems. Did win a cup with Boston, but Nikolai Zherdev. I am going to reach out to Doug McClain and see if he'll come on this podcast. He can tell us some Nick Zherdev stories. I want to hear.
Do you remember Doug McClain always harps on the Kopitar deal? I can't remember who he took, but somebody took LA took Kopitar like right after the guy that he picked.
Yeah, he took Olivier, I think.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's been haunting him.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. He probably feels.
Wasn't it Brule Was that the Brule?
Yeah, it was Brule.
That's exactly what it was.
It was Brule.
Yeah. So here's who went after Gilbert Brule. So look, the first pick was Sidney Crosby. Duh. Bobby Ryan's second pick. Bobby Ryan had a heck of a career. Jack Johnson, Stanley Cup champion, still playing. AJ Hawk's brother-in-law, by the way, if you didn't know, AJ Hawk, who's on the Pat McAfee show, his brother-in-law is with Jack Johnson, lives in Columbus. Jack Johnson does, by the way. Benoit Pouliot from Minnesota, not terrible. 5th overall, the Montreal Canadiens drafted Carey Price. Yeah, he was all right. Then he picks Gilbert Brule. Yeah. Okay. So after Gilbert Brule, Jack Skilly didn't do much. Devin Setaguchi had a couple of good years with the Sharks. Brian Lee from Ottawa, don't really remember him. Luc Bourdon.
He was a defenseman. Yeah, he didn't do very well.
Luc Bourdon, don't remember much of him.
Luc Bourdon died in a motorcycle accident for Vancouver. He was a good guy.
He died in a motorcycle accident? Okay, yeah. That sucks. So he could have been a good. Mark Stahl, 12. By the way, Mark Stahl's still playing, 05. Played with Philly this year. I'm trying to see if any kind of big names. Tuukka Rask, 21 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Then they promptly TJ Oshie, 24 to the St. Louis Blues. He probably gets drafted in the top 10 if you redraft that, right? Easily. James Neal, big deal. James Neal, 33 overall to the second round to the Dallas Stars. Did James Neal scored a lot of goals in this league? How many goals did James Neal? He had to have over 400 goals.
I would think so. Yeah, he had lots of 30-goal seasons.
Yeah. Okay, no, he didn't. He had 3. He had 2. He didn't have over 300. He had 296. His last played with the Blues, 19 games, 2 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah.
In 2020, 21, 2022, 559 career points in 869 games played. Notably played for the Penguins for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, didn't win a cup with them. Got traded. Then went to the Cup Finals with the Vegas Golden Knights, didn't win. And then was with Edmonton for a couple years there. Thought that trade worked out for both teams there, that Lucic trade here. So, oh man, Byfield had a good chance there. See if he ever puts his game together. Thank you, Derek. I love that Stars jersey too. It's a Sagan. I wanted a Jason Robertson. Go ahead.
What I'm going to throw out there, if Brett Burns doesn't win a cup, he probably won't retire until he wins one, unless he's basically being carted off the ice in crutches or something. But I think if he runs his contract out without winning the cup, he's going to end up in Toronto. I could just see him going right back closer to home, and maybe
he'll be like the replacement for Giordano.
Doing one of those Geo things where, just a couple guys, go back to Toronto and see if he could win one. And
oh my gosh.
If not, just go home.
See what just happened there. Holy crap.
How far ahead you are, Pearlo?
I'm 20.
He's a bit ahead of us.
Left.
Whoa! A bad bounce on Stu Skinner and a tap in for the freaking
good. Kings. You know what? I got both teams to score in the first period. First period.
And you just got it, buddy. You just got it with 28 seconds left.
Laferriere, plus 600 to score a goal.
Woo! What'd you bet $2 on that though?
I didn't touch it. I was looking at Evander Kane first goal too. I was looking at a bunch of shit. So I can't be talking about it.
That is ridiculous. I had the over 1.5 at minus 145.
Dude, the sanctions are the best though.
That helps
eliminate the seamless glass, man. I love sanctions. And in Boston, they're very pronounced. You notice that at the Boston Garden?
I love it.
So you fire a puck off the glass, that thing's coming sideways sometimes.
Remember the Detroit Red Wings used to, at the Joe, they used to use those boards. Nick Lidstrom was a master of throwing that shit off the back, it'd come around and it'd be right on Darren McCarty's stick, and he'd bury it.
Yeah.
By the way, Darren McCarty followed me on Twitter. I fucking loved it. Thank you, Darren McCarty from Woodley.
Wow.
Yes, yes. Him and John Cena followed me on Twitter. It was a banner day for me.
Carter Hutton.
I know. Now you see beard. Now you don't. Now you see beard.
Yeah.
Carter Hutton followed me for some reason today on.
Awesome. Well, dude, I mean, that's sweet. Carter Hutton from Daily Faceoff. Shout out Daily Faceoff, guys.
Yeah.
My boys, Colby Cohen and Johnny Lazarus, who came on this show. Oh, wow.
I get followed. I get people to just follow me. Most of them are like porn bots, but they're still following.
No, I'm sure I have those too, Rico. I'm sure I have those. So somebody in Tennessee stole my Social Security number, so that happened. I got his name and address if you guys want to look him out. The Zamboni doors back there back in the day were crazy, Rick's saying. Are you talking about Rick? Are you talking about the Joe Louis Arena? Or I know Maple Leaf Garden had some lively boards back in the day too. Those old buildings had a lot of character, and there really isn't an old barn in hockey anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess the Boston Garden used to be smaller. Remember, the corners weren't very wide; they were like sharp corners in the old Boston Garden, like in the 70s and 80s. If you notice, that rink was noticeably smaller at the Boston Garden, and I remember watching those games, and yeah, it was tight. Yeah, that's crazy. They weren't all regulation size back in the day. People, teams could build their rink how they wanted to, and build a tough team and build your rink small. You have angle. You don't have rounded boards. You have angled ones. That looks like a geometric shape, like an elongated stop sign. That's what the rink looks like. Just make Zdeno Chara's corner like very angled where he plays most of the game. It's like, so you can just take your head off. Great penalty, Trevor. Your family has just been relocated from Thousand Oaks to Bakersfield for that one. West Coast Hockey Bias. Shout out West Coast Hockey Bias. Did Trevor Moore just take a penalty at the end of that period?
Did he? I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, J-Dub, that's awesome that you're happy. Are you the guy that DMs me on the reg? Nobody really DMs me, but I think you're one of the guys that DMs me on the reg. I think that's you, which is cool, man. That's fine. If I don't have time, I don't answer. So I usually have time. Yeah, this is good. J-Dub in the house. Yeah, he's been with us. No, he's our Caniac. We get a lot of Kane fans, which is good, man. That's a diehard fan base. People don't appreciate those fans. I'm telling you, man. I think they're going to beat the Rangers, man. And I don't think it's going to be even a series. Carolina's a hard team to pick props on because they got so much depth on that team. It's like pick a guy who you think's just going to pop one in that night. Like they got so many players that can just be a factor in the game, and hopefully a lot of them come back next year.
Yeah, it looks like Florida, Carolina, Western final for sure. New York Rangers
Bruins in 5.
Still don't have the greatest. Yeah, I had Bruins in 5. Yes, I did. Thank you very much for reminding me. Oh, dude, I mean, a lot. I saw Daily Faceoff. Only one guy had the Bruins. I thought the Leafs were winning this series from the get. I don't think Boston's that good. And regardless of who advances, they're not beating Florida. So, dude, how do you look at that? If you were to guess, what's wrong with Matthews, man? If you're going to take a guess, what do you think's wrong with Austin Matthews? I think he got some sort of like pneumococcal pneumonia or something. I think he's got like an injury, but they don't want to tell you. So because he hasn't been shooting a puck. So you don't even need to say upper body, lower body. Just say sick. So crack ribs.
Crack ribs. You can't fire a puck with crack ribs or separated shoulder.
But dude, they're saying he's sick. Like they've made it seem like an illness. So
yeah,
I wonder,
just because they're saying that doesn't mean it is.
Dude, and that's another thing that came up on Overdrive today as well. And there's a lot of people complaining about the gambling aspect and them going into pre-series that Nylander had an underlying issue with migraines and stuff, and how the series price would have changed if they would have known Nylander wasn't in the series and stuff. And I guess it went to Bettman's office and stuff like that. And I guess
fraud charges on the way.
I guess the outcome came out that people said why the NFL got to disclose doubtful and all that stuff, and because of so much money being bet on the NFL. But I guess one of the answers was, and Elliot Friedman said that is the answer. He doesn't always agree it is the right one. Is not enough money is being bet on hockey for them to have to disclose these injuries so acutely like the NFL does. Because the NFL has so much more money than the NHL being gambled on, that they've instituted this rule that the players are either doubtful, not playing, out. They've got about 4 or 5 in the NFL saying what the player's status is, and they don't do that in the NHL, which you might see it down the road.
I think the problem is in the NHL, people are known to target. This is why fighting is going to come back into the game, because they're going to have to be honest on these injury evaluations. And look, the other thing is, sometimes you could prolong your career by actually not playing and getting the surgery or getting fixed or rehabbing it and not overdoing it. And one, if it's regular season, you shouldn't be playing. If you have an injury, don't play. Like, I get it, this, that, or the other, but good God. So, like, J-Dep says that Wall Ruff said D'Angelo will be fine after negative x-rays. I didn't see the D'Angelo play, by the way. And he says Pesci could back from the Rangers as well. That's a huge get back for them, by the way. But again, sorry, Rico. Again, just real quick. I was just going to say Carolina has a lot of depth on the defensive end. So I think if Pesci is a loss, they can live without.
Yeah, Pesci didn't have a great year either. He was one of his worst defensive years since he's been in the league. But that might be contract stuff. I don't know.
Hey,
we got cat appearances. I got 2 dogs.
But we're usually done by now, and I gotta head out, guys.
Yeah, we can call it good. Yeah, Pearlo, thank you so much for coming in, and don't strain your back lifting those bodies.
You can't joke about that anymore. People think he actually does it for them.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Sorry, Pearlo. Yeah, we had to square away.
Did somebody actually think that was true?
Not the bodies thing, but we talked about it. Anyway, thanks, Pearlo. You can get the hell out of here.
Take care, guys.
See you later, man. All right, Rico, we will finish up the show. Thanks to Pearlo, man. I appreciate these guys. Pearlo, Rico, they're the best, man, and I consider them great friends. They come on my show and spit their hockey knowledge, and it's just so much. They're here, Andrew. I thought you left, Andrew. Come on, man. Rico's got the cat, so yeah.
She watches the show, man. She loves it.
I love it.
Loves
dude.
the show.
We are an all pet guy here. Who's the big cat guy? My army buddy that's here. Shout out Tony Carson. Big time cat guy, has 4 cats in his house back in North Carolina. Big time. You get along with him well, Rico.
No mice.
He's a Carolina guy. He's a Caniac, man. He's going for the Canes. He likes the Devils, actually, because the Devils were good when he was up here, because we had Scotty Gomez bringing the cup to the bar. So, yeah, the good old days, man. I go back to those days in a minute. Rick says he has 2 cats and a dog. Rick, we got to get you on. I know you were on Samuel B's chat. We got to get you on one of these days. Just a little bit. Talk your experience with your Canadian gold medal. I know your story is really documented on Sam's, which is an awesome story. I still have your photos up here. They're just buried behind everything else I got up here. They're right behind the hockey sign, the old time hockey sign. That old time. I just keep getting stuff, Rick, and adding it to the thing. I have a problem. So I have a problem. Well, okay. Well, Rico, what are your final thoughts for tonight? And then tomorrow, no show the rest of the week, guys. Just I have to attend a funeral of a friend that passed away who actually worked at a sporting goods store, who sold me a lot of the hockey jerseys I had back in the day. So he died in the spring here a few months ago. So Andrew says he has a zoo at his house too. So and then I want Rico to be able to watch the game and not try to host a show and stuff. So Pearlo and I may get together on Sunday and do a show. Rico won't be with us because you're doing you got family visiting, but we'll be back Monday for sure. Back to normal, and then we'll kind of play out. I want to do a couple live streams for the conference finals and the Stanley Cup finals, so we get some people to chat where we do a little bit of play-by-play / talk with the fans type thing, which we don't normally do. Not really a podcast like we do here. So, what are your final thoughts, Rico? Do you think Edmonton closes it out tonight?
Yeah, I think they do. I mean, I was surprised Vancouver didn't last night, so that series has turned over a new leaf. But I think Edmonton does not want to go back to LA here. So, yeah, the Edmonton Oilers close it out tonight, but I'm going to be a nervous wreck all day tomorrow. Leafs game day, man. Just going to have a little brekkie, listen to as much content as I can because it might be the last day that I do if the Leafs lose tomorrow night. So,
another good reason why we're not having the show, right? So,
yeah, man. I got to paint the bedroom downstairs
this is good.
tomorrow.
No show. This
so
is good. You can get caught up. Yeah.
I'm going to listen to the content all day, just soak up all the Leafs talk as much as I can, get prepped for the game, and watch Hot Take stream. It's the best, man. So if you guys don't know Hot Take, tune in. Hot Take Hockey is going to stream the game tomorrow night. It's a blast. Watch along. And, it's going to be tense in Toronto, man.
Yep. Score is still 1-1, Andrew. It's at intermission, man. They got another 7 minutes and 55 seconds before the puck drops for the second. We won't be live for that. You'll be able to watch it on your own or put it on. You guys know if you have the app, you can listen to the games on the radio for free. So I always recommend if you can't. Josh is with you, man. Our J-Dub, by the way, J-Dub, appreciate you always DMing me and being an active member of the chat. And go Canes. I'm this close, man. If my wife wasn't like clamping me down for spending, I wanted to buy the black Caniac koozie jersey. I'm just totally right on there with the Canes. I've got
just get it off your neighbor's house and just go over to your neighbor's and then just say, "Oh, look what the neighbor bought me." Just get it mailed to his house.
He looks at the bills, Rico. I mean, so, but yeah, like super stoked. So. I think all the pressure in the world's on the Bruins, Rico. I really do. And I think if the Leafs come out and play like they did in Game 5 at home and the crowd gets into it, I think we're seeing a Game 7. And then I think the pressure's on Boston. And then, watch them move off Jeremy Swayman. Yeah, I want to get another cup for Kuzi and Orlov. They'll always be caps to me, J-Dub. And I do not hate the Canes. I think their fans are awesome. I wanted to kill Warren Fogle for that cross-check from behind that he wasn't penalized for on TJ Oshie where he broke his collarbone in the playoffs, which I think we would have won that series. But outside of that, I like the Canes, man. So, and yes, let's go Leafs. Let's get a Game 7. This first round's been but I think the second round's going to be good, man. I think the second round's going to be really good. So, and I'm glad Vegas has a chance to send it to Game 7 in Vegas. So they lost both their home games like Dallas. So I expect that to go 7. So these series could be over. I really hope the Kings win tonight. So this Edmonton series is just a little bit longer. But I do think Edmonton, they got a legit shot now. I think they can really go through this team. If they win this in 5 tonight, I think it's not Vancouver. I think will be a tougher test. But they just own the Predators. So if it's the Predators, I just worry that won't be good. But again, the Predators could upset them. But I think they're going to walk to the Western Conference Finals. And, I mean, Dallas, Vegas, Colorado. Colorado's getting rested. And Landeskog, are they going to get him back? I don't know. So it's going to be interesting. But I really hope we see some longer series. I want to see the Leafs go to Game 7. That would be great. I'll be texting you, Rico, whether they win or lose. And let's get this Kings Oilers a little bit longer. And then, I wouldn't mind seeing the Nashville Predators Canucks force a game 7. So then we got a few game 7s in the first round, which would be nice. I think last year we had 4, and right now, sure would be nice. Everybody's like, oh, the first round sucked, but if all of a sudden we got 5 game 7s, like if the Kings take Edmonton to game 7, and then obviously Stars Golden Knights, if that goes to game 7, and then it's going to be real interesting, man. So I'm super excited for the playoffs and shaping up. There are a lot of teams I'm rooting for to see win, but we'll see. It's just I really have less and less of an idea the more hockey goes. But I think if Dallas wins, I'm sticking with them in Florida in the finals. So well, appreciate you, Rico. Any final things before we bounce out of here and say goodbye?
I'm gonna have my Austin Matthews jersey on tomorrow night watching the game, and I went to the game 3 in Toronto last year against the Panthers, so I got that little white towel that everybody waves around that they give you on the seat. So I was waving it around last game. I'll be waving it around tomorrow when Toronto scores in my house here, freaking out. So just think of me, all you Leaf fans out there. Go Leafs, go, man! It's gonna happen. We're going to Boston for game 7.
All right, go Leafs, go. That's a great way to end it. Let's get a game 7. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Just kidding. We won't see you tomorrow. We will see you next Monday. Thank you, everybody. Rico. Talk to you tomorrow.